wave, guys.
You can have everyone's attention. If I can have everyone's attention, please. All right, we just heard from the helicopter, and he's en route, so he'll be landing shortly. I just wanted to explain to you what Red Ribbon Awareness is all about and why we celebrate that this time of year. I'm with the Drug Enforcement Administration. My name's Dan Noddy. I'm the special agent. And Red Ribbon started about 5-6 years ago. It's to commemorate a fallen agent, Kiki Camarera. He was an agent with DEA back in the 70s. He started in 1974. And he was kidnapped and tortured and killed in Mexico in 1985. And we celebrate his life because he had a commitment to keep drugs away from children, keep drugs out of our society. And Red Ribbon is to let everyone know that we haven't forgotten Kiki. And it also is to kick off drug awareness for around the schools in the country. Just about every community in the country celebrates this. And you'll be getting red ribbons. They'll be handed out later, and that's to remember Kiki and to remember his spirit. So today we're going to learn a couple of things about drugs, drug awareness, and we're going to have some fun also. So the helicopter's en route. We can just bear with us a little bit longer. They're flying in from down south. They'll land shortly, and then we'll break up into smaller groups, and we'll teach you some of the things that about drug awareness. Okay? Thank you, people.
Take a look real quick? Yeah, absolutely. Actually, give them a few seconds.
Okay. Again, and you're still employed. You want to hand the cards out there?
I said to Steph, I was
everybody here
like,
now?
Steph, I bet you're in the picture. No, I wish.
Anyway, I'm Chief Warrant Officer Ford Barcrow. I'm a full-time Army National Guard helicopter pilot, the counter-drone program. And with me today is my co-pilot, Vic Valent. He's also a CW4 with us. And I'm just going to tell you a little bit about who we are and our unit, the helicopter, and then we'll open it up for questions if you have any questions about us, the helicopter, or anything we do. Anyway, we're a small unit. We work out at Trent Mercer Airport. It took us about 30 minutes to get up here today. And our unit mainly is geared towards helping to try to help keep drugs off the streets in New Jersey, working with different agencies from local police departments, state police, FBI, DEA, working with various type of drug-related type missions, whether we're following bad guys around, if you're ever watching those cop shows and you see the helicopters up in the air, tracking people around. This helicopter has some of that equipment underneath that you may see some things hanging underneath the helicopter. We have a 30 million candle power spotlight. We have an infrared camera, a video camera, and pretty much, like I said, if you ever see any of those cop shows with the helicopters, that's pretty much what we do in the state of New Jersey. The type of helicopter you're looking at behind me right now is called an OH-58 Kiowa helicopter, Bell Jet Ranger. Pretty similar to a lot of the ones that police departments use around the state. Some of the news helicopters that fly out of New York City and North Jersey. Just ours has a little kind of an Army paint job and looks a little not quite as nice as some of theirs, but basically the same type of helicopter. It's a 4-seat helicopter. You can fly 1 or 2 pilots in the front and up to 2 passengers in the back seat. Its top speed, we go about up to about 140 miles an hour, which is about 120 knots. We can go up to about 18,000 feet, although anything over 10 to 14,000 you need oxygen. We're not equipped with that. Anyway, in New Jersey, pretty much we fly 500 feet to maybe 2,000 feet around the state with what we do. It's pretty busy up here, especially up in North Jersey, up in New York City, there's a lot of different aircraft. So we're always got to keep an eye out for other helicopters, planes, talking to air traffic controllers, things like that. Some of the other things with the helicopter, it's unarmed, it's an observation helicopter, it doesn't have any weapons, it's not like an Apache or some of the other TAC helicopters. You might see some different things hanging off the helicopter, like in the very front there's a silver tube coming out the front. That's not type of any weapon, that's just called a pitot tube, and just the air coming through there tells us how fast we're flying. Have some other things that are kind of like pointy that you may not see on normal looking helicopters, if you've ever seen them. That's an emergency wire cutter on the top, and there's one on the bottom also. The Army does a lot of low-level training, kind of almost going through the trees type of training, or even in real life. And if there's any type of small wire, that's designed to cut a small wire and keep the helicopter from having an accident. Some other things. We have a spotlight controller in the back where the actual law enforcement officer who's in the back seat will actually control the spotlight. In the front seat, the co-pilot in the left seat will control the camera or the video camera with the helicopter. And pretty much whoever's in the right seat is a normal flying position.
of helicopters, where like the car driver is always in the left seat, and the helicopter, the right seat, is the main pilot position, right up here. Pedals, what kind of control systems we have. You have a cyclic, collective, and pedals, and the tail rotor. Pedals, if you want to hover, we kind of move the pedals around. If you want to turn left or right, if you ever see helicopters hovering, that's pretty much what you do. You have the pedals, and that controls the tail rotor for hovering. So, some other things. I'm trying to think. We have a GPS system in the helicopter where we navigate off the satellites, and that's pretty much how we got here today. We punched in latitude and longitude coordinates, and got us directly to the landing here, and told us how long it'd be here and speeds and everything. We also have a police band radio that is not normal for Army helicopters to have, that we work with a lot of different police departments, and we actually just punch in their frequencies, and we're able to talk with the local state or federal police agencies through our radios in the helicopter. Some other things about our unit: we have a total of 4 helicopters. We have 5 full-time pilots right now, and we have about maybe half a dozen part-time pilots in our unit. And we pretty much work day shifts, night shift. We work up in Newark a lot, at night, Camden. During the day, some of the things we do, we just finishing up, I guess, during the daytime, we actually spot outdoor marijuana plants in the state of New Jersey. It's not real big like some states like Hawaii, California, but we usually find a couple thousand plants a year, spotting them from the air. Then this time of year we start going into other type of missions, but pretty much from June through September, that's one of our big daytime missions. And at nighttime, kind of like the police helicopter type missions that I described is what we normally do. I guess what I'll do, I'll open it up to questions, and then you'll give you a chance to walk around the helicopter. The only thing we ask when you walk around and check out the helicopter, anything you see hanging off the helicopter, whatever, don't pull on, don't grab. We have different antennas, and some of them can be pretty fragile, so if you start putting your weight into some of these different things, you could actually damage them. And pretty much everything on the helicopter is pretty expensive for us to get fixed. So once we're done, as long as whatever time you have left with your teachers, feel free to walk around and check it out. Just ask you not to. We don't want anybody sitting in the helicopter either. You can poke your heads, look around. If you have any questions for myself or my co-pilot, feel free to ask. But I'll open it up just to general questions about anything with our unit or the helicopter right now if you have any. All aircraft, not just Army, planes and everything. They all have what's called a tail number, and that's how you identify yourself with the air traffic control. We go by the call sign of the guard, say guard helicopter, and 15265. So we're talking to Newark Tower. Most civilian planes and helicopters, they have what's called an N number. They'll be November. They'll say, instead of like saying N, they'll say November and the last 3 of their call sign. But everything has that's a way to identify who we are to the air traffic controller. These, we don't have, I didn't mention the doors or anything. These are just vent scoops to get some air in the helicopter. And we have doors, we just left them back today. And this helicopter is not, doesn't have any type of air conditioning in it. Today's kind of a cool day. We probably could have left them on if we wanted to. But in the summer months when it's hot, we take the doors off because we don't have air conditioning, because all we have is these little scoops. And when the sun's beating down pretty on a hot day, it gets really warm in here. So we take the front doors off, almost like you would with a Jeep Wrangler. You pop them off and throw them in your garage. That's kind of what we do with this helicopter. And we got seat belts. We're not going to fall out or anything like that. And it keeps us a little cooler and gives us a little more elbow room.
You made a comment that the helicopter is not armed. My question is this: when you're in Camden, you're in Irvington, these areas, you know, where they're potentially, and you're looking for marijuana and so forth, have you ever come across a time period to where it's probably kind of dangerous in that setup?
Small arms fire, like small handguns, by the time a bullet, if somebody was to shoot at us at 500 feet or higher, it would be like somebody throwing a pebble at the helicopter and it would pretty much bounce off. Now, some type of rifle could damage the helicopter. But pretty much what we're going to do, if we think someone's firing at us, if we see anything, observe it, we're just going to get out of the area. The law enforcement officer who's with us, he has a handgun, but he's not going to be firing it from the air either. So pretty much if we were to think that someone was shooting at us, we're just going to clear out of the area. We do have armored plating under the seats in the helicopter. So if something was to come underneath, we do have the armored plating under the seats to help us out. But pretty much we're just going to clear out of the area. I've been doing this like 12 years. I think maybe one time my co-pilot, another guy, observed, I think it was in Camden, what they thought was some automatic weapons firing. But it was not at the helicopter, it was like at gangs at each other on the ground. It's possible someone may have shot at us, but we never found any damage or knew that it happened. But if it was to happen, we're just going to get out of the area and clear out and probably let the guys on the ground handle it, the police officers that are actually down there.
What's the main source of wearing away the helicopter?
I'm not sure what you mean.
Just, I mean, like, what wears away the most?
Wears away?
Like,
you just mean like parts and different things like that that we have to replace? Yeah, one thing I didn't mention, this helicopter is from 1970s. This is a 37-year-old helicopter.
One more question after this part.
But everything, as far as blades, engines, and those type of things, everything's less than 10 years old. Every so many hours the helicopter flies, the parts have to be changed out. So even though this is it's an old helicopter, all the moving parts, engines, transmissions are less than 10 years old because they have to be replaced every so many hours.
How do you use the controlling things?
How do you fly the helicopter, so to speak? Right here is called a cyclic, and that's mainly what you compare it, say, to the steering wheel of a car. We want to like kind of left, right, back, forth. Pretty much most of the movements in the helicopter we use the cyclic to control. The collective pretty much gives the helicopter more power, and we kind of compare that to the gas pedal. So somewhat similar. And then the pedals we use to control our hovering left or right.
Okay. Get a card.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Go around in the back here.
Around the back. I want to take a ride in it. Maybe?
Similar to like a captain or a major, depends on what rank you are.
Mike knows exactly what to do. Mike doesn't need to
Here's another pair of goggles.
I want to do high. What level is high? What level?
Yeah.
They're both. Yeah. Guys, I'm not gonna I try to walk straight line.
Okay, take a few steps out.
Let's go, sir.
Ready? Good.
I almost fell.
That's modern, easy.
Alright, can't do it.
You're just making that up. He just asked me here, like, guys are retarded.
Are you afraid of it?
Oh my god, I'm so dizzy.
Oh no, I want to see this. I want to see this.
Come on, Nicole. She's like,
Stop putting it. Next.
now we know she's in class. Try to stay there. Try to stay right there.
Keep going. Stop. Come back. Slow down. Go around. Right here. How do you feel? What do you want? Come on. What do you
David, you know that was clearly.
Great, right?
Lauren, which is it, low or high?
Lauren, you should have seen her on high.
Slow down. You walk.
Try flying.
Eyes closed.
Fly.
Stop. Come back.
Try flying back.
See? Got it.
Like the ball went over there, you're like this.
Trying.
Stop crying.
Oh, I've been waiting for
Stop right there. Come back. Slow down. Actually, they call a beer goggles, which make feel dizzy, make simulate like you had a one can of beer of this.
On the Counter Drug Task Force, I've been with the task force since 2002. In the task force, we have about 40 other guys like myself that are assigned to different law enforcement agencies throughout the state of New Jersey. We have people like myself in DEA, FBI, Customs, and state police, and other law enforcement agencies throughout the state of New Jersey. And all we do is support. We're only there as a support element. We don't have any law enforcement authority. We're only there as a support element. And that's basically it for the Counter Drug Task Force. What we're going to talk about today is gateway drugs. Can anybody tell me what a gateway drug is?
It's a drug that like leads on to worse drugs.
Yeah, that's it. And can anybody tell me the 4 gateway drugs? There are 4 gateway drugs. Let somebody else answer. Anybody? 4 gateway drugs.
Just name one.
Yeah, you can name one. Yeah, that's one.
What did she say?
So she said tobacco. Another one? That's 2. Marijuana, tobacco. You got 2 more. That's 3.
What'd you say?
Marijuana, tobacco, alcohol. There's 1 more. Anybody? One of the girls back there? Yeah, the one that's hiding. No? Sure? Anybody? Back there. No, close. No, close too. Huh? Yeah, that's it. That's the last one. Inhalants, marijuana, alcohol, and tobacco. The first thing we're going to talk about today is tobacco. Can somebody give me an example of a tobacco product? You ready? Huh? Yeah, that's it. What else? A girl. Another girl. Yeah, that's it. Another one. I'm looking for one more answer. Probably the guy. I hate to do this to the girls, but the guys will probably know this answer. I'm gonna look for one more guy here.
Chewing tobacco?
There you go. That's the one I was looking for. So we have chewing tobacco, cigarettes, cigars, and that's pretty much it, right? Let me pass this around. Do you guys know what this is?
Smoker's Lawn?
Okay. Why is it supposed to be this color?
No.
Why is it this color? Yeah, this is an actual lung of a person that smoked, chewed tobacco, and all that stuff.
Like a real lung or
No. I'll pass this around and you guys look at the inside and see the white stuff is the cancer inside this lung. You want to pass that around? Okay? Okay, this is another model I wanted to show you guys. You guys, what's wrong with this mouth? Anybody know?
From smoking so much.
Yeah, this is a mouth of a person that's been using tobacco products for an extended amount of years. That too. You want to pass that around?
Not real, right? No.
All right, next thing I'm going to talk about is alcohol. Can somebody give me an example of an alcohol product? You might want to come around and see. Alcohol products? Yeah. Another example. Girl.
What'd you say?
Scotch? What else? Anybody else got one? Back there. Something else besides beer. Anything else? No? Be behind. Yeah. So, did somebody say vodka?
Yeah. No, she did scotch.
Oh yeah, okay. Who said vodka? All right, so those are examples of alcohol, right? Can you guys tell me what this is? You guys know what this is? What else is in this? Liver. Why do you think the liver's like that? Okay. This is a liver of a person that's used alcohol for an extended period of time. Just to show that it's a dill pickle, but
Why is there a pickle beside it?
just to show that it's a dill pickle, trying to say that it's a bad liver. Pickle in the liver. Hey, you want to pass that around?
That's not right.
No, thanks. I don't want that.
Yeah. I don't eat that shit.
Before I go on, this is tar, a year's worth of tar in somebody's body. Yes.
That's real? What is that?
Yes, that's tar, a year's worth of tar.
Dragonfly just like touched you.
No, it's a pickle. No, it's an illusion. Don't do drugs or end up like this. And Adam do bits and pieces.
Helium?
What?
Oh, here on it.
I didn't do that.
I'll switch you.
You want that else? Do. This? What else? Any other examples of inhalants? Yeah. What else?
Did they say Sharpie?
Yeah. Anybody else? Somebody new. Back here. Somebody said that already. Try again. No, somebody said that. I'll give you guys a hint.
Yo!
So those are, nail polish is another one too.
What about a bracelet? What about a shirt?
Huh? Somebody said that already. All right, and the last thing we're going to talk about is marijuana. Can you guys tell me the most distinct thing about a marijuana plant? You're in the blue.
What? It gives off heat?
Huh?
It gives off heat?
No, I'm looking for another answer. The most distinct thing about a marijuana plant. Somebody knows.
Use your liver.
Huh?
Like I said.
Besides that,
Wait, we didn't see the lung. Is there a
Huh?
We still long.
Can we see the lung?
You guys want me to give you the answer?
What was the question again?
What's the most distinct thing about a marijuana plant? Smell. Smell. It's a real pungent smell, strong smell. Like you'll know you came across this marijuana plant by the smell, the way it smells. And this is what it looks like. I'll pass this around to you. Any other questions for me? Any questions? Any questions about the 4 gateway drugs we're talking about? The examples?
No.
No? Can somebody tell me the 4 gateway drugs we talked about today?
Marijuana.
That's one, okay? No, just one. Yeah. That's 2. Who answered that? One more. Yeah. That's another one. What do you want, a pencil or? One more. There's one more, right? What's the last one? So the 4 gateway drugs. Alcohol. The 4 gateway drugs are inhalants, alcohol, marijuana, and tobacco, right? Examples of inhalants are what now?
White out.
Examples of tobacco products?
Skull.
Yeah. Examples of alcohol products. Examples, did we say examples from here?
You were supposed to do.
Yeah. It was me, my co-pilot, and him, and we were at this Irvington banquet last night because of, and some. Okay. All right, great. Yeah, I guess we'll just be getting ready for takeoff, and we'll be taking off in a few minutes.
Sounds good. Thanks again.
You're welcome.
I'll get some pictures of takeoff.
Well, pilot.
Well, we used to live in California. It was 15 hours just from California, so I never had any problem. We've been,
Going to the airport, get some to eat, get some gas, and we got another one after lunch, and then we got one of our marijuana missions, and then we got a meeting with our new colonel at 4:30. And then I might go for a run, depending on what time I get, so I don't know what time. I probably won't